I get to the security issues, what do you make of all of these news coming out of China when it comes to this crackdown on crypto exchanges? We had seen Weibo also really suspend those crypto-related accounts as well earlier in the week.
Yeah, I mean, I think, as in my role of chief security officer, we are a global cryptocurrency exchange. We have clients all over the world, 90 plus different countries, and our top priority is the security of our clients. That really supports our mission to promote cryptocurrency adoption globally, and security is really a big part of that. Now, as far as clients accessing our exchange and accessing places from around the world, that's something that we can't control as an organization. If a country is going to block them from being able to access our exchange or other places, we need to just make sure that we're available if they're able to access our exchange.
So we have seen some measures that you're taking at your company, including having people really be careful when coming in, really changing into plain-looking clothes, not allowing perhaps their children to access the Wi-Fi and do certain things in your company. Why take such drastic measures?
Well, we understand that security is core of everything we do here at Kraken, and our teams, all of our employees, are what we would call productively paranoid. That means we want all of our employees, and we train all of our employees to be fully present and aware of the security risks that our decisions and actions have at all times. And with this mindfulness in both our personal, and that's specifically around the personal lives, and also the work lives, we have identified and we know that it results in a massive reduction in the likelihood that our employees are going to be the root cause of a security incident or be a victim of a security incident.
Nick, we spoke just today, actually, with the Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, who said that essentially she thinks cryptocurrencies are the Wild West. Take a listen.
Banks either holding Bitcoin, that becomes an issue that we need to talk about with the bank regulators. So there are a lot of different pieces to this, and I think the answer that we saw today is that right now our regulators and frankly our Congress is an hour late and a dollar short, and we need to catch up with where these cryptocurrencies are going.
With the JBS hacking, we're already hearing from senators on the Senate Intelligence Committee that there needs to be greater oversight into how cryptocurrencies play into these sort of hacking events. It's not exactly great for the image of crypto, right? It kind of goes to the idea that it can be used for untoward criminal purposes.
Yeah, I mean, when we think about this, the primary driver behind ransomware attacks isn't the existence of cryptocurrency. There have always been malware attacks. There have always been, different types of attacks against organizations that steal intellectual property, that steal client data, that steal, financial information, or even steal funds. There have been lots of compromises of financial institutions over the years. I think this, really just highlights how important the security and how vulnerable many organizations are, and they really just don't have their house in order when it comes to security. And then I think, the other piece there, when we think about the FBI being able to recover the funds, that we recently just heard about, that sort of stamps out the false narrative that, it's out of reach of law enforcement. If the FBI was able to trace these funds and they were able to trace them using online tools, I mean the Bitcoin blockchain is a wide open, publicly viewable ledger. And so you can see all the transactions there. And so that really, in my mind, sort of debunks the misconception that it's really the primary use is criminal activity, because from a criminal perspective, using large amounts of criminal activity, being on a publicly wide open viewable blockchain is sort of akin to stealing bags of money with marked bills and die packs in it and a GPS tracker in it. It is traceable. It may not be immediately identifiable, but it is definitely traceable. And with a little bit of detective work, like you saw with the FBI being able to pull off, they're able to recover those funds and probably will be able to track down who the criminals were as well.
So we had ex-employees of JBS tell us at Bloomberg that there were calls to spend more on cybersecurity, but that the company didn't consider it a priority. They didn't see an immediate return on investment, that it was a back burner issue. Is this a pretty common approach still, even as we see an acceleration of these kinds of attacks?
Well, it's definitely not a common approach, I would say, in the cryptocurrency industry. You know, ourselves as Kraken, security is our top priority above really all else for our clients. But I would say, I spent 20 years in the security industry before I jumped into the crypto world, and as a security investigator, as a security auditor, as an incident responder, and a security researcher, and I would tell you that I've seen the worst of the worst and I've seen the best of the best. But it is rather common for organizations that are not in the high-tech industry, that are not in the financial industry, and of course not in the cryptocurrency industry, to undervalue the importance of security. And so when the IT groups from those companies, go to their executive leadership and say, we need to spend X millions of dollars in order to secure our environment better, lots of times, it's the case that those budgets are slashed or maybe even not approved at all. So that is very common in industries that are not in the technology world or not in the financial space.